The city skyline shone through the restaurant's glass front. Inside, the soft chatter of late-night jazz echoed the sounds of high-society diners. This was the kind of place people went to celebrate, not to end their lives. My phone buzzed on the dashboard. It was a text from my wife, Anna. "Stuck in a late meeting with the marketing team, baby. Don't wait." We had been married for 6 years, built a life from scratch, raised a beautiful son, and pursued the classic American dream. But lately the air in our house had felt heavy, cold. Anna had become a ghost. Her phone was always down. Her explanations for coming home late were vague, almost rehearsed. A week ago, the universe handed me the truth. I found a hidden email account logged into our family tablet. It was filled with threads between her and her coworker, Stephen. Months of intimate dinners, secret weekend getaways, and promises of a future together. Tonight, the facade shattered. She wasn't in the meeting. She was with him, but I didn't scream. I didn't break her phone. I chose the path of complete clarity. I spent the entire day in the heart of a high-rise office, talking to a high-end divorce lawyer. By 5 p.m., the papers sat in a manila envelope inside my coat pocket. Signed, sealed, and waiting. My heart was heavy, but my mind was titanium. She had forgotten that her location was still linked to our family sharing app. The GPS dot didn't point to her corporate office. It led straight to the Marble Room, an upscale, reservations-only restaurant that had once begged me to take her. I dressed carefully, stuffed the envelope into my jacket, and headed downstairs. The anger I'd felt earlier had turned into a cold, unyielding determination. This betrayal needed to be ended. Inside, the restaurant was the picture of beauty. Soft candlelight, white linens, the clink of crystal glasses, and there she was, near the back. Her laughter echoed throughout the room, that bright performance laugh I loved. Her hand brushed Stephen's arm gently as they shared a dessert. Her hug. She was wearing the sapphire pendant I had given her for our 3rd anniversary. That detail felt like a physical blow, but I didn't flinch. I walked away, my footsteps silent on the carpet. I stood just beyond their table, casting a shadow over their candlelit dinner. "Anna," I said, my voice dangerously calm. "You look comfortable?" Her head tilted. The color drained from her face instantly, her eyes widening in horror. Stephen choked on his Cabernet, coughing into his handkerchief. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't make a scene. I dropped the heavy manila envelope between their plates. "Divorce papers," I announced simply. "You're free now." Anna's fork clattered against her china plate. What are you doing here?" she whispered, glancing around the room. Stephen looked at the table. Looked completely paralyzed, unable to look into my eyes. I opened the flap of the envelope, took out the printed copy of their emails, and placed it in front of the entire table. "Stephen, last night was perfect. Can't wait any longer." "I've known for weeks," I said, looking him straight in the eye. "You lied to me. You lied to our son. You burned everything we built when I gave you my all." The surrounding tables fell silent. The tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife. Anna fumbled, trying to find the words, but her trembling hands completely betrayed her. I didn't need to say another word. I turned and walked out into the cool night air, leaving them bathed in the light of their own creation. By the time I got to my car, my phone was buzzing. Dozens of texts. Desperate apologies, desperate excuses, claims that it was just a stupid mistake. I blocked notifications. That same afternoon, I had moved my belongings to a pre-leased condo. Our son was safe at my brother's house, completely safe from the chaos. Dropping those papers at the restaurant wasn't about making a dramatic scene. It was about closure. It was about forcing her to face the reality of her choices, in which she'd hidden them. And secrets don't stay hidden in a city like this. A mutual friend who was eating nearby texted me later. The entire room witnessed her exposure. Within 48 hours, our social circle was buzzing. The truth was out. Karma struck fast. It turned out that Stephen was also married. Once the story broke, his wife confronted him, threw him out, and their little fantasy empire collapsed overnight. As for Anna, her entire life had been built on her polished corporate reputation. Her firm valued discretion above all else. Suddenly, her late-night meetings became office gossip. Her professional world began to open up. The next evening, she came to my condo, eyes red and puffy. She begged for a chance to explain. "It was a mistake," she sobbed. I grabbed the printout. "Months of emails, Anna. This is not a mistake. This is a way of life. Sign the papers." I deserve better. Our son deserves better. The fantasy was dead. The dust had finally settled now. I never posted those emails online. I didn't need to. The restaurant floor was enough. Her betrayal had been exposed to her lover, her colleagues, and herself. That was the weight she would carry. Months passed. I was settling into my new condo, and our son was adjusting beautifully to our new routine. Anna was in therapy, her career was on ice, and her confidence was shattered. Serving those papers wasn't an act of revenge. It was an act of liberation. It was about reclaiming my self-respect from the web of lies. She thought she could live a double life. I simply brought the truth to her table. Now I am recovering, finding joy in small moments with my son, and building a life rooted in complete honesty. Her choice was her escape. My delivery was her reckoning.